Hello, welcome. I am Dr. Randall Bell. I'm here with the talented, wonderful Jill Pillsbury to talk about core IQ skills. Of course, the skills we all need at work, at home, and life, but we're often not taught in school. So we're going to talk about them here. Does this sound like a plan?
Sounds great.
Now, this episode is talking about the four quadrants. This was actually developed by Dr. Stephen R. Covey. This has really become kind of a legendary topic, the four quadrants, because this is a time management concept. We got to manage our time carefully if we really want to get into that kind of peak performance mode. And this is a great tool to do that. Basically, what Dr. Covey did here is Q1 and Q2 are important things to do. And then Q3 and Q4 are unimportant. And then they're divided this way, what's urgent and what's not urgent. And really kind of the point of this is just to have this concept in mind so that we're not spending too much time in Q4 where it's basically trivia and stuff that's not important and not urgent, that kind of thing, and shift our attention up to what is important. And ideally, I'll just tell you up front, ideally, we want to spend a lot of time in Q2, not really Q1, because Q1 is urgent. We don't want to run our lives like we're constantly, on an emergency run, but more just doing important things in a more sensible, balanced way. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. I mean, I think really the goal is to be not only efficient, but effective.
And we don't always want to be in a rush because, this zone here, Q1, is a rush. It's a rush zone where we got a crisis.
Everything's a fire drill, and that just adds stress to every day of your life. So trying to get it under control, like you say, Randy, and focus and have awareness in the quadrants that add value, really make a lot of sense.
So really what we want to do is take a kind of a look at your life and say, what's really my priorities? What is important and what's not important? And at home, my son loves to play video games. Well, that's definitely a Q4 thing. He's kind of got this thing about video games.
There's so many time wasters that are available to us today in this age of technology.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of it myself because, you get on Facebook or Instagram or something, and before you know it, you've just blown 2 hours.
Yeah, emails, even can go and take you down a path that before you know it, you've spent an hour just looking and sorting through emails.
Now, the thing about Q2 is a lot of this is kind of prevention. In other words, it's kind of planning our days out in advance rather than waiting for a deadline to come in. Here we're talking about, like, if you're a student, Q1 is like the test is tomorrow and I haven't studied. Okay, so it's urgent and it's important. And so you're in this Q1 mode of cramming for the test. And that's not a good place for a student to be. I mean, cramming's okay to a degree, but life gets pretty old if we're just kind of partying here and then cramming here. And a lot of students kind of have this mode. And something a little smarter would be doing the homework in a sensible, reason-paced basis so you're not cramming. We all want to have fun. We all want to do kind of the trivia kind of thing, but keep it kind of managed so that our priorities are being handled. What do you think?
I think that's great advice. And I think one of the things to keep in mind is that sometimes that means saying no. Setting a boundary to friends, social, volunteering, even work sometimes where it's appropriate. No one can kind of spin on in a crisis mode, deadline driven, urgent phase over time. That's just not sustainable. So setting some boundaries that are healthy, saying no to some things that are interruptions, a phone call that comes in the middle of the day. It may be your mom, it may be your child, and you want to be there. And of course that's important, but kind of taking a look at your day and either spending 5 minutes to address an issue that person has and circling back with them later might be a good way to protect a little bit of your time and put you back into the non-urgent quadrant.
Well said. And also, I like the point you made about saying no. One thing I learned recently was that doing something great means saying no to a lot of good things.
And even as a parent or, a mother, if you're working or you're just a stay-at-home mom, do you have to be the room mom? Do you have to volunteer to be the soccer booster person? Do you have to be in charge of the next fundraiser? Those things are great and wonderful, but sometimes they come at an expense and you're missing quality time in your day, getting your day organized, having dinner ready, being able to sit down and do homework with your kids. So sometimes saying no really can be a healthy thing.
Yeah, a very healthy thing. So to really kind of make this work, go through the worksheet and then kind of assess your life, whether you're a parent or you're a student or you're an executive or you're a manager or an employee, whatever your things look like, and kind of assess where you're spending your time and which module or quadrant it fits into, because that can really kind of reprioritize your time and then you become more effective.
Right. You want to be effective, not just efficient. And sometimes running amok, the other thing, Randy, that I wanted to just add is that mentality that some of us really thrive on, that what I call adrenaline junkie, where you've got a million balls in the air and you're moving, and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're doing this. Again, make sure you're creating value to your life and your days.
Well, I think the way I think of that is activity does not necessarily mean achievement.
Right.
You can be real busy, but you're not really achieving stuff. With this framework, you're actually accomplishing the important thing. You can spend a lot of busyness down here on unimportant things.
Right. Thinking you're being productive.
Yeah.
When you take a look at the worksheet that goes along with this and you start really digging in, one of the strategies is to delegate, being able to hand off some tasks that aren't really things that you per se have to have hands-on. That can free up some time.
All good points. So this is kind of in your hands now to kind of assess to see how it's going to work for you. So make sure that you like Core IQ, share it, let people know about it, discuss it. Maybe have conversations with these topics with your family, with your friends, with your business colleagues, and we will see you next time.